Simon does his morning routine, duck under lovebirds, steal a basketball, and ignore some bullying. He hands Miss Jasper his latest paper. He knows even if he gets 100%, his grade will still be an 89, but he's hoping to get extra credit for turning it in early. Miss Jasper tells him to grow up, because the world doesn't work that way. But if he stays after school to help the art kids with their mural, she might raise his already good grade to a slightly better grade. Simon is in, because he does not have anything better to do with his time. Simon offers his assistance. They laugh in his face, then do some grade A bullying.
Wait, he can help. You can wash out our paint buckets and brushes. Yeah.
I mean some grade F minus bullying.
Great, this is gonna be fun.
Hey, the real fun comes later.
The fuck?
Never mind.
Simon, I think these kids are going to put a paintbrush in your butt. The paint posse gets paranoid and speculates Simon is a spy sent to infiltrate their operation, because paint fumes make you a paranoid dickhole. Simon is reading a book about how to befriend these white trash drug addicts when Ruthie comes by for a cute bee story about making clay noses for her art class. Who cares? As soon as the custodian goes home for the night, Pete breaks out a can of that sweet, sweet red stuff he brought from home. He says the spray paint makes art fun. Simon wonders how he can breathe, and Pete says he'll get used to it. Shit, he might even like it once he gets a taste. Simon asks where the other kids are, because his snitch instincts tell him to keep tabs on peers in case he has to rat in the future. This puka shell fiend says the guys took a breather, but when Simon says he could use a breather, Pete giggles. Simon knows something is up, because he is not funny. Pete says,
"You're too pure to understand."
Simon, run. They're going to put paintbrushes in your booty. Simon catches the gang blasting off on the paper bag party train to taste the rainbow. Puka Pete says it's called huffing, and it makes you feel like you're walking on clouds. The kind of clouds that hover above a methadone clinic.
You wanna try it? Or are you too pure?
Simon politely declines the opportunity to paint the inside of his skull metallic orange. They warn if he tattles, they'll make his life hell, which is not much of a threat because he's already trapped inside this show. Puka Picasso is not feeling so hot. Simon jumps at the opportunity to find an adult, but Petey tells him to chill. It's just some brain paint. He'll add it to the mural later. Simon says he's quitting Mural Club, and that is that. Mama Camden says, no you're not, because you're a sweet boy. Simon says, golly gee, mommy didn't think about it like that, back to Mural Club I go. And more beast story about how shoving art supplies up your nose can be cute. Getting mixed signals here. Miss Jasper breaks the news that Pete collapsed this morning with a bloody nose. He's on his way to the hospital, right after he hits a Hobby Lobby for a pick-me-up. She asks if Simon knows anything, and he puts on his best poker face, smooth. Papa Camden's dad alarms are going through the sunroof. He takes Simon on a snitching cruise. Simon finds a rat loophole. He says he can't outright snitch, but if his dad guesses what happened, that's technically not snitching.
Give me some place to start.
The visual arts guys work with a lot of paint. Spray paint fumes.
We're talking about huffing, aren't we?
And if that's not snitching, I'm the Queen of England. Papa Camden says this huffing stuff is bad news. It can cause heart failure, liver failure, going to fish concerts. Pete's mom curses Simon out because he used to be an A student until he started hanging out with Simon's B+ ass, and Pete told her Simon brought the paint. Everybody's snitching on everybody. Simon waits for Pete to wake up from his Crayola coma and tells him to unsnitch on Simon, then snitch for real on his friends, because it's the right thing to do. And the family gets together to pat each other on the back for helping kids quit huffing paint and start snitching on each other in one afternoon. So what did we learn today? Huffing paint is for losers who wear puka shells, because if you have to stay after school to do drugs, they're not cool drugs. And a B+ is just as good as an A-. Definitely not worth the hassle of hanging out with dudes who have shit on their faces to bump your grade 2%. Points. And don't try to befriend weenies who don't want to be your buddy, because that makes you king of all the weenies. And white people in the suburbs love snitching so much, they're constantly inventing new ways to do it. See you next time on a very special episode.